Hey guys, this is Nito King with more Space Quest 6. Aren't you excited? Yeah, I'm pretty confused too, because last time, the whirlwind romance with Stellar Santiago ended with her death. And we attended the funeral, which was nice, but now the game hasn't told us what we need to do. We're basically just blindly wandering the deep ship 86 until we come up with something. So I'll just save you the trouble of hunting around and go straight to Roger's quarters. And now that we're here, we don't need to be here. Let's get out of here.
Wow, a message for me. I must be getting popular. I wonder what it is.
Roger, help me. I only have a moment. They faked.
Stellar, what happened? The picture's gone. You're alive?
Yeah, looks like she wasn't really dead after all. And now we understand the driving force behind the plot, although not really why it had to be so heavy-handed. I think this is something important enough to be worth reporting to the captain, don't you?
Commander Kilbasa, you're going to think I'm crazy, but I've just received a distress message on my compost. And it was from Stellar.
Wilco, have you been whiffing cleaning fluid again?
I'm absolutely as sane as I've ever been. She's being held on Delta Berxilon by Sharpay.
Wilco, do you realize how irrational that sounds? We buried Stellar. You were there. Maybe you need a rest. Take a couple of hours off.
Sir.
Wilco, we have our orders from StarCon and we'll be carrying them out. Drop it, Janitor. Leave the bridge now, Wilco. I've made my decision.
Well, that's not fair.
Janitor Wilco, you must have something to clean up somewhere. Make yourself scarce. We're very busy up here.
Well, fine. So he's not going to be of any help. And once again, we're a bit aimless at the moment. Let's check out the 8 rear, see if anything has changed there. There's a couple of new faces.
It's your old non-organic friend, Circuit Sydney.
Hey, if I've got a friend, let's chat with him.
Hello, Roger. Please join me in consuming something.
Thanks, Sydney.
You seem uptight.
Say what? Upright? What are you talking about, Sydney?
Uptight was the word. Perhaps that is too archaic a reference for you. It would have been more effective to say that you seem concerned.
Oh, yeah. I do have a thing or two, well, at least something on my mind.
I am sorry to hear this. I hope your concerns are soon alleviated.
Thanks, Sid. I do have to come up with some solutions.
Well, that was enlightening. There's more stuff we could say to him, but for now, let's play around with the Mr. Soylent machine. People wanted to see me poke around with this, so...
The access panels are all tightly sealed to keep people who don't know what they're doing away from the controls. Yes, people like you. You shouldn't try to open this door by tugging on it. You'll strip the gears, just like you did to the replicator in your quarters. You stick a finger into the vent and feel a cool, gentle draft. Not unlike the one that seems to drift from your ears. The pipe feels tepid and seems to vibrate just slightly. Whether that's from an influx of fresh soilant or just the natural vibration of the ship, you're uncertain.
This world's a great big ball ball of dirt with 50 billion souls who like to sit around and veg down in the dark like moles. But me, I'm just the kind of girl who loves the open air and bits of unburned hydrocarbons blowing through my hair. New soil and clear, at last it's here with clearly better taste. Less people too, like me and you, and less reprocessed waste. More hearty crunch for snacks or lunch, it's crystal clear to see. New soil and clear, the last frontier for folks like you and me. New soil and clear, clearly less people, clearly more taste.
Well, what do you know? They did put the whole jingle in the actual game. Well, having heard that, let's move on, because we really do need to do something about Stellar. And the solution is hidden very carefully. Now, when I first played the game, I read through the entire entity database, the list of known races, which I pointed to in the demo because it had some important information. And if you go all the way to the very end, you'll find this entry on the Vulgars. Like I said, I love this part of the game because you have to explore it to find everything that you need to do. Some of the things are pretty well hidden. And when you read about a race of brilliant and logical thinkers who are insufferable to be around, you realize this is a parody of the Vulcans from Star Trek, and the Vulcans had something very important to teach us. A nerve pinch technique. And interestingly enough, this entry actually contains more information about it. I guess the directors didn't really like those movies very much. But more importantly, there's a holojoint program number for a tutorial of the vulgar nerve pinch. So what do you say we go check that out? When I first played the game, I actually viewed this tutorial before even going to Delta Berxilon 5. It doesn't come in very useful until you get back, but we need to know it, and as they say, knowing is half the battle.
These are the holodeck programming controls.
Those buttons seem to be self-explanatory. I wonder what they do.
You drool in that...
Well, they don't respond to speech very well. Okay, so let's just turn this thing on. And then the most popular phone number in movies, 555-1212. And I promise I didn't edit this sound in any way.
Welcome to HoloSuite program 555-1212, the vulgar nerve pinch. Despite our reputation for being pacifist, we vulgars have developed an extremely practical martial arts technique used mainly for defensive purposes. It is called the vulgar nerve pinch. This is a tactile oral maneuver in which the applier pinches the bundle of nerve fibers at the base of the neck while whispering into the victim's ear dialogue from either Tango and Cash or Hudson Hawk. This particular combination of nerve stimuli and loss of cerebral control due to the torturous mantra of movie dialogue results in a searing flash of pain and then unconsciousness. In effect, it is similar to a temporary orally induced robotomy. Victims are soon rendered unconscious for several hours. When they awaken, they will remember nothing of how they came to be unconscious, if they are extremely lucky. I shall demonstrate on my most eager volunteer. You will please to pay attention. Address the subject in this manner. Please to notice the location of my hand as I begin the narcotic chant of cinematic morphine.
He mutters something thankfully unintelligible into the ear of the volunteer.
Oh, thank you, sir. Maybe you can fetch me up with your sister. I have told you after her. We're gonna have margaritas together. Oh, the two of us get we have fun. Oh, get a hubba hubba going in the wee. And I just like that. So, as you can see, it is very effective. If you can apply a proper grip to the neck, it will disable 9 out of 10 neck-bearing species. This completes our program. Thank you very much.
So there you have it. Now we know how to do the vulgar nerve pinch. Why is that important? Well, we need to go chasing after Stellar, and the only way to do that is to steal a shuttle from the shuttle bay. You may remember that it was guarded, but now we've got a technique that we can use to get through. Alright, now I know the secret is to always take out the big guy first.
I really don't think that's a good idea. He's not the touchy-feely type.
Alright, like I said, what we want to do is take out the small guy first and leave just the big one by himself.
Ooh, boy, I got you with my fingers in your Kurt Russell. Now you can't get away. I got you now that you've got a... Hard to believe this is a real job. Oh, my God. So how come you're not going down? I got you with your mumble-jumbo and your hubba-chubba. Ooh, boy, if I only could, I would. Jeez, why don't you step outside, pal? I got you with this, and I think I broke a fingernail here.
It may have been a slight miscalculation. And game over. Or not. Looks like they've just locked us up in the brig.
That would be Dorf, the nearsighted and fairly clueless security chief. It's like talking to a duroethylene plasto brick wall.
At least it looks like I'll be eating well.
Enjoy, Mr. Wilco. Oh, the cushy life will be a vague memory after you are sent to one of the labor camps on Daventry 8.
No, not Mask of Eternity! You bastards! Alright, so what about finding a way out of here? I probably should have taken that food while it was in the cell. But looks like my guard is leaving. I should be able to just get out of here pretty easily, right?
What are you, plastic man? You can't possibly reach anything outside the cell when you're locked in.
Oh yeah.
As you run your hand over the graffiti-covered bare plastostone walls of the cell, you wonder why nobody ever cleans this place.
That would probably be my responsibility, wouldn't it?
This is some very fine food, whatever it is. I'm sure you'll find it quite to your liking. Heck, it's probably better than what they feed you janitors. Live it up! Oh, that darn light needs to be amplified. I need to contact maintenance.
Alright. Take all this food before he does anything else and see what we've got.
It's one of the interestingly shaped pastries you took from the food cart.
Cool. Bobbit kebabs. They whip up some interesting food items in this joint.
It's a plate of grill hair spaghetti. It's a nice round melon.
I remember what this is. It's a rack of ORAT. Haven't seen this stuff since Space Quest 1.
It's a tuberous growth of some sort from the food cart. These look like something they cleaved from the side of Yoda's head. You get fingerprints all over it.
Alright, we'll see about eating it.
As cool as it would be to interface these two...
Nope, doesn't work. Well, let's put some stuff together, see if we can make a meal out of it.
Nothing happens. See, most games would just give you a generic response when you try something useless like that. But we've custom-tailored this response exactly for you.
Nope, it's got to be the right two things. And here we go.
Now it has some cool ears. Careful, combining those... The rack of ORAT adds a nice touch. An interesting idea. Something's starting to take shape. What are you up to, Roger? A touchment of that adds something more to your work in progress. How creative. That's a nice touch.
And there we go, an exact replica of me, or at least enough to fool the nearsighted dwarf. Of course, I probably should have waited until his back was turned to assemble it. But oh well, he doesn't seem to have noticed.
Nice! You marvel at how much more handsome this prisoner looks compared to the last one.
Now I just gotta wait for him to come back. Well, could take a while.
He's having enough trouble just maintaining his species. I hardly think he's going to be paying much attention to, much less understanding you.
And Dorf delivers one additional donut.
Whoa, I see you have a visitor. I'll leave you two alone, but you know the rules. 10 more minutes and they have to leave.
Yikes, it's a good thing Dorf's so vain about wearing his prescribed much thicker glasses. That was too close. I nearly dampened an undergarment.
Of course, he doesn't care about how this guy got into the cell.
This is some very fine...
Or how he got out. But who cares? Freedom!
Nice work. Sometimes you actually surprise me.
Hey, handsome. Let's see that pretty little face. Impressive.
I love that. So we still need to get through that shuttle bay. But we're going to need something else to deal with Magnum Opus. And it's hidden in the sick bay. You could pick this up also the first time that you go there. I chose not to.
He ignores you. What did you expect him to do? He helped you, and it's time for you to move along. We have adventuring to do. Hey, don't put your mouth on that. Your words cause...
Okay, I apparently can't talk to the doctor anyway. I'm just going to raid his medicine cabinet. This is the one that he was opening when I was here before. Okay, I'm stuck. Ow, get out of the way. Alright, fine. Okay. We're done our little tango. And that's what I mean about things being pretty hidden.
It's a bottle of morphine.
Sounds good enough for me. Drugs are exactly what we need to solve all of our problems. Let's see how he reacts to this.
That's an interesting idea. Not a good one, but interesting nonetheless.
Yeah, I guess just walking up and jabbing him with a needle wouldn't work too well, would it? But what are those things he was eating before and seems to be completely ignoring now?
A nice fatty donut. Magnum will probably scarf this down. After all, he needs to maintain his boyish tub-o'-guts figure.
Hey, I've got a donut.
Good thinking. It's the donut you filched from the food cart.
And now that I notice, the syringe is turned a little bit so I can see the last letter is a G.
It's a bottle of morphine, which you thought was actually morphine. Die.
Yes, a donut laced with morphine. Well, let's see what effect it has on him. It can only be hilarious. Okay, seriously, the animation does not need to be this long. Way too much build-up. And that was pretty much the only funny part of the whole thing. But he's down, and now...
My, this guy would give Sybil a run for her money. I really don't think that... Magnum doesn't talk. He fancies himself to be like one of those Buckingham Palace types.
Plus, he's unconscious. But all we have left to do is deal with Chesbro, and maybe we can take him by surprise. Again, doing the same thing.
What could lie beyond this door?
It's not important. This house was built in 1840.
You're a fool, and will soon be a dead end.
Ah, Lordy! My memory has its voice again.
Smooth move. You've got his keyring.
That keyring would have been a clever puzzle if it had been a puzzle.
No amount of brute strength can pry these doors apart, even if you had some. This massive door leads to the shuttle bay. Since the shuttle bay is completely depressurized every time a shuttle lands or takes off, this door must be incredibly thick and impenetrable. Not unlike you. This handy-dandy scrolling board announces incoming and outgoing shuttles. During the quieter stretches, it's also used to display the scores when they hold donkey basketball games in the shuttle bay. This massive door leads to the
Alright, so there's an obvious button we can use to open the door. And another button. And I guess we gotta press them both at the same time, but Roger's arms are not long enough to accomplish that task. 'Tis beyond my reach! But what can we do to get through this impenetrable door with two buttons? I suppose that'll be a good mystery to handle in the next exciting episode, which is the continuation of my favorite part of the game, and the part where I finally got stuck when I played this as a kid. Join me and see how awful that puzzle is. Round. And go straight to Roger's quarters. And now that we're here, we don't need to be here. Let's get out of here.
Wow, a message for me. I must be getting popular. I want... Absolutely as sane as I've ever been. She's being held on Delta Berxilon by Sharpay.
Wilco, do you realize how irrational that sounds? We buried Stellar. You were there. Maybe you need a rest. Take a couple of hours off.
Sir.
Wilco, we have our orders from StarCon and we'll be carrying them out. Drop it, Janitor. Leave the bridge now, Wilco.
Important enough to be worth reporting to the captain, don't you?
Commander Kilbasa, you're going to think I'm crazy, but I've just received a distress message on my compost. And it was from Stellar.
Wilco, have you been whiffing cleaning fluid again?
I'm absolutely... wonder what it is.
Roger, help me. I only have a moment. They faked...
Stellar, what happened? The picture's gone. You're alive?
Yeah, looks like she wasn't really dead after all. And now we understand the driving force behind the plot, although not really why it had to be so heavy-handed. I think this is something... Hey guys, this is Nidoking with more Space Quest 6. Aren't you excited? Yeah, I'm pretty confused too, because last time, the whirlwind romance with Stellar Santiago ended with her death. And we attended the funeral, which was nice, but now the game hasn't told us what we need to do. We're basically just blindly wandering the Deep Ship 86 until we come up with something. So I'll just save you the trouble of hunting around.